Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on a Thursday afternoon. Glad you've joined us out there wherever it is that you're tuning us in. Our program brought to you by our great corporate partners, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College each and every day. The phone number at the bottom of the screen, if you're watching, is 256-234-6221. I'd love to hear from you today if you'd like. Of course, you can comment away out there on Facebook and YouTube. We'd love to hear from you throughout the show there. Randy, a lot to get into here is yesterday Auburn picking up a big commitment out of the portal. Really had come down to Auburn and Texas A&M, and Auburn able to garner the services of Keandre Lambert-Smith from Penn State. We'll dive into him a lot more here in the first couple segments. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. As Auburn, that was the highest rated receiver in the portal in this second wave, and so Auburn's able to go out there, a revamped wide receiver room all the way from top to bottom. We're going to talk about that too. Auburn revamping that defensive line too here in this second portal window and picking up three really solid players to add depth. You know, JJ said it yesterday. It's not about getting a bunch of superstars. It's about getting a bunch of really solid guys that can give you 24, 25 snaps a game, that you can feel comfortable bringing them in and out. And so I think you even said something about that a couple of days ago. Tyler Scott did the hokey pokey. He got in the draft. He got in the portal. He came out of the portal. He's back at Auburn. This is what you get, man. I mean, kids just – they're just out there trying to figure things out themselves, and I'm not sure they have a lot of guidance. To be honest with you, I feel sorry for some of them. I think they want to be in a place, but then they're getting pulled and they're getting told, hey, man, you probably need to get in the portal, and, hey, you could probably go over here and start. And, you know, they're just getting pulled in every direction, and God forbid actually any of them go to class in the meantime, you know, so and actually figure that part out. The NFL draft starts tonight. Who will get drafted from Auburn? Where will they land, and in what rounds can you start seeing some Auburn Tigers go off the board? SEC Golf Championships underway. Auburn's been number one majority of the year in the country, but the SEC's loaded, just like it is in every sport. We'll talk about where Auburn sits after day one of the SEC Men's Golf Championship over at Seaside Club in Georgia. So, Randy, good to see you on a Thursday. We'll start with football. We didn't even talk about it, didn't even bring up basketball, obviously. You know, Auburn's still looking to add some players on that roster for basketball. If we got time, we'll get to that as well. But Auburn picking up Keandre Lambert-Smith. You know, this guy's been at Penn State for a long time, a veteran receiver, had his best year this past year, and really brings a ton of experience to this wide receiver core that's talented but young.
Well, he's the size, he's the speed that you maybe expect Malcolm Simmons to be in the years to come.
Right.
Now, does this cut some of the time that you may see out of Malcolm? Who knows? Mm-hmm. I would say that they're the imps of one another, and if it does cut into some of Malcolm's time, but it gets Malcolm a little bit more groomed and ready to play, and he's behind, you know, an elder statesman there that's played a lot of college football and put up great stats, then that would be a great get. And, you know, I did notice that Cam Coleman was applauding the get yesterday, and that makes me feel good that the receiving room is kind of all together and understand exactly what we need. But Marcus Davis doing a tremendous job. I'm not necessarily just pointing to him, but you have to point to him when he's the wide receivers coach for the change of the room that he's got to work with. And overall, the effort from Hugh Freeze and this staff to put a better quality product out there on the field. We sound like a broken record, but I can't say enough good things about the effort that we're getting there.
You know, you talk about this, and you're like, position to position, did you get better from one year to the next? And sometimes you have to clean house Sometimes you bring in, and you got to remember, Hugh Freeze last year went out and got some guys that he felt like could help. I don't think he was just saying, man, we got some surefire studs that are going to come in here and burn the woods up. But let's look at last year's, wide receiver room. Shane Hooks, transfer from Jackson State in Mississippi, gone. Jair Shorter, transfer, gone. Jay Fair, transfer, in the portal right now, probably won't come back. Javaris Johnson, gone. Caleb Burton, still here. Transfer from Ohio State, was nursing a knee injury. He's a 5-star player coming out of high school. He's gotten better. Seen him improve. Camden Brown's been there 3 years. Looks the part. Maybe looks as good as anybody we got on the roster. Struggled catching the football. That's a problem when you're in the wide receiver position. He's part of the deal. He's back though. Looked better in the spring. Had some catches in the 8A game. Looked maybe like a different player there. Nick Mardner, not on the team anymore. Amari Kelly, gone. Coy Moore, still here. Hope he can learn to field a punt if he ever gets another opportunity to go back out there. Malcolm Johnson Jr., he's also gone. So what do you have? You lost almost everybody out of that wide receiver room. I don't think anybody is tremendously upset that you lose any of those guys. Who do you replace them with? A 5-star Cam Coleman, a 5-star plus Cam Coleman that everybody in the country wanted. It's one of the most dynamic freshmen in the nation. We've already seen what he can do. He's going to play. There's no question about it. You just had Keandre Lambert-Smith. He was Penn State's leading wide receiver last year. Played in the Big Ten, was a major part of that team for Penn State last year. Perry Thompson, a flip from Alabama, from Foley High School. Big kid. Randy, you and I followed him for the last couple of years. Maybe not quite the numbers some of these other guys had because of the offense Foley ran and maybe the quarterback position. We talked about Gabe Benton here at Alex City. Sure made Malcolm Simmons look really good when you got a quarterback that throws for about 3,000 yards and can make every throw on the field. That's just part of it. I'm going somewhere with this. Robert Lewis, a transfer from Georgia State. 900 yards last year. Man, had a good spring game. Looks really, really good. You get another top 150 4-star, Bryce Kane, coming from Baker High School. He was part of that Freeze 4. And the fourth guy, that Freeze 4, is Malcolm Simmons, a guy you and I covered every single week here at Benjamin Russell High School the last 2 years. We know how good he is. Sam Jackson comes from Cal, was playing quarterback at Cal, comes over. He's in the wide receiver room. Very talented player. Caleb Burton, like we just talked about, highly touted out of high school, got hurt, got injured, knee injury, been fighting through that. Has really improved this spring, expecting big things out of him. Camden Brown, I just mentioned about him, and then Coy Moore at the bottom. Man, this thing looks totally different.
Well, the recruiting class was really strong, but it was also a part of a year where the recruiting class for wide receivers, there were the availability to go out there and get them.
Right.
And, I'm hoping that the offensive line room, that you're going to run down stats like this next year with the offensive line room. Not that we don't return a very good team, but you can go back a couple of years ago and start pulling up who's going to be on the field playing for Auburn on the offensive line, considering some of these new recruits that we're getting, and that's going to be great. But back to your thoughts here, I think we've upgraded in just about every regard that you can ask for. 3 of the players that we really haven't seen anything out of so far yet, Perry Thompson, Bryce Kane, and Malcolm Simmons. I think you're going to know a little bit more about all of them. But you already feel better even if the 3 of them don't give you initial first day, first time on campus, Cam Coleman-esque looks. I think all of them, their ceiling's exceptionally high, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of you saw out there, but Malcolm Simmons, who is the state high jump champion, just cleared 7 foot for the first time this past week.
Amazing.
He's a long jump champion. He won the 200-meter dash as well, so he competed in 3 events this past week. And I'm just trying to give everybody an idea what kind of athlete you're talking about. I mean, you're not talking about a guy that's just going to go out there and just motor down the field, which is maybe what you're getting out of Bryce Kane. With Malcolm, you're getting top-of-the-line athlete all the way around. Jumping, strength,
physical,
physicality out there on the field. Played running back some in high school from a need position. So can't say enough good things about him, and I think you're going to see him storm on the scene. I really believe that. You're just not going to be able to keep an athlete like that off the field.
No, you're not. I think he brings a dimension to your special teams as well. I think a lot of these guys could be a factor in special teams. I think Bryce King could, but I look down this list and we've seen film on all of these guys, and Malcolm Simmons he's a special team phenom. And I mean, not just from a return standpoint, guy can punt one out of Jordan-Hare Stadium. I mean, he may have the best leg on the whole team. I'm not kidding. I mean, this kid is really special, and you and I have seen him punt him 70 yards before. Now, will he punt? I don't know. Will he have a shot? Maybe. But you just bring in a guy like him, and we're sticking with Malcolm, that there's so many possibilities of where he could end up on the field and what he could do for you on the offensive side of the football. Cam Coleman with his size and Perry Thompson and Keandre Lambert-Smith, they're pretty much predicated to where they're going to be.
Yeah, they're going to play a lot. I really believe the three of them are going to get a lot of snaps, including Perry Thompson.
Yeah. Robert Lewis is going to have something to say about that. That kid looked really, really good in the A-Day game. Now, I know it was the A-Day game, but he's been getting rave reviews.
Yeah, all the buzz is he's going to play.
Yeah,
exactly. He's going to play, and he's going to play a lot. He's going to get a lot of looks out there at the receiving.
Right.
If he were to catch 4 or 5 balls a game, wouldn't be surprised.
No. Just a total different look, in the Auburn wide receiver room. And, man, it is massive upgrade when it comes to talent. Now, again, experience lacking there. But talent, that's why it was key to go out and get Keandre Lambert-Smith, I think, to bring somebody in there that's played in college for 4 years. That's a huge pickup from a veteran standpoint. So we've got comments coming in. We'll get to those on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, like this powerful all-new GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. Now available with up to $13,000 off. Purchase the roomy GMC Terrain SLT discounted up to $97.50 off. And the GMC Acadia AT4 all-wheel drive discounted up to $8,000 off. Enjoy no payments till the end of summer at Glenn Smith GMC. Over 350 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College. You can get your comments in. John says, Friday Eve, greetings to us. And, yes, always like Thursdays. Means Friday is around the corner. Jim said, think about the matchups now for the defenses against Auburn wideouts and quality tight ends. This offense is getting scary. The potential's there, definitely ramping up. Ty said it won't surprise me if Malcolm Simmons will be the punt returner. John said, I'm sure all of you remember Coach Saban's first year and all the players he got rid of after his first year. So
he's done some punt returning, a little bit more kickoff returning that I can remember, Brett.
Yeah.
But he has been back there and he can receive them.
Dangerous back.
So yes, I wouldn't be surprised, but not necessarily. I would maybe look at Bryce Kane doing a little more than that than Malcolm. What do you think? I mean,
I'd see.
We didn't see a lot of punt returning out of him, did we?
Right. I don't, but when you get somewhere, coaching staff may say, look, this guy's
got to work.
Maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. Maybe can handle the role. So I think both of them will be in the mix for sure. They're both
best punt returner in Auburn history.
Oh, Robert Baker.
Think Robert Baker was?
Man, either him or.
Old school. Come on, bring some of yours in. Shane Wasden was outstanding.
I was going to say Shane Wasden.
Who else has been really good back there?
Ace Wright. Alexander Wright. Phenomenal. I mean, speedster. Let's see. To be honest with you, who was it that returned that kickoff against LSU 100 yards? I was at that game. I was back in the Rohan Davey days. It was number 2. I'm trying to think of his name. It's not Ben Obamanu. God almighty. I can't think. Auburn's had some good punt returners. Some really good ones. Some good kickoff returners too. So, but Robert Baker definitely stands out in my mind. The guy just was always solid back there. And, Keontae Scott's not bad. He's back, and he returned a lot of punts this past year. We all thought it was Keontae Scott and Iron Bowl. But it was the other zero. And it was Coy Moore back there. And telling you, it just Jim said Tim Brown. I don't know if it's Tim Brown. It's Tim something. It wasn't Tim Brown, Jim. It was Tim something else.
Tim Carter.
Tim Carter. That's it. Number 2, Tim Carter. So Ty said Lionel James.
I'm sure he was. I don't remember as clearly when he was punt returning. I remember a lot of him being a running back, but perfect. Right. And I know he was outstanding all-purpose back and all-purpose player in the NFL.
I'll go back there to Tim Carter, man. That guy was good at kickoff and punt returns. He was good too. Good list there of guys. But I would expect Keontae Scott, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Kane, all of them get opportunities to see which one you can put back there. So if you want to know how important that position is, just go to the Iron Bowl. Keontae Scott had to come out and slightly injured. Alabama had been stopped, and 5 minutes to go in the game, you slide Coy Moore out there, and boy, that thing slid right through the wickets, man. And it was like, well, here you go. And then the defense comes out and did their job. and then you give up a 4th and 31. So, yeah, hate to bring up bad stuff. But anyway, from that standpoint, I think Auburn has just really, you got to look at it. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some learning curve here. But when you compare that wide receiver room last year to this one, it ain't even close from a talent situation. Now you've got big boy SEC talent all through that room.
Now if you can get a quarterback to go with it, and I'm talking about a big boy quarterback, not one where you go in and say, can he be better than he was last year? Which is what we're asking ourselves right now.
That's right.
We're saying, can he be better than he was last year? Can he take advantage of the skill set that we didn't know he had, but he has, which is running the football and being dual threat, and comfortably throw the football down the field with accuracy like you would like. We've yet to see that. I'm not sitting up here as sure as I was with T.J. Finley being that conversation. A couple of years ago, we had the same exact talk, and I was as loud as I could be that if that guy's our quarterback, we're in deep, deep doo-doo. And we were. And so I'm not the same here. I think Peyton Thorne has proven that he can do it. He did a little better at Michigan State than we saw in the first year at Auburn, but he didn't have a lot of talent around him. But we'll see on the quarterback play and who we can go out there and get, because Walker White, everything I hear, he's not ready.
Right.
So
well, he's not.
Smith,
he's not. So
are we after him?
You know, we'll see. I mean, yeah, we're after him, but he ain't going to play this year.
We have to transfer portal quarterback from Arizona State.
Well, guess what? You have 5 days left to get a transfer portal quarterback. It ain't happening. The portal's about to close. And so there's really not anybody out there outside of the kid from Arizona State that, you know, I think that you would even be considering. So, now, I know you can pick some. They can come. Once you're in the portal, you're in there, but it closes here, and they can make a decision to transfer and you know, maybe into the summer. But I mean, we're about to be in May here, man. I mean, you saw when Peyton Thorne came in last year. He came in, what was it, late June, early July? I mean, he had been in there a month, man. So, I mean, you don't have a lot of time. Let's go to the Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline. What's up, caller?
Pretty good. I was just wondering how Andy was, and we miss him, and y'all do a wonderful job. I enjoy listening to you. And I just wonder if the quarterback, Peyton Thorne's going to be able to get the job done. I'm afraid we're going to have another 6-6 season with him back there. What do y'all think?
You know, I just, it's so hard to say. I think you're right. I mean, if he doesn't improve, if he hasn't gotten any better, yes. But if he's got a full year under his belt now. Has he made some improvements and strides? Coach Freeze says he has. So you won't know until the games are kicked off in late August. So really, he's our only option at this point outside of Hank Brown, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, Hank Brown looks a lot better than he does.
Right. Well,
I just don't understand that.
We haven't seen a lot of Hank Brown. Again, we're not at practice, and we don't get to see the things that go on. Again, we said this yesterday, though. Just because you tear it up in practice doesn't mean that you don't tear it up in a game and vice versa. And you can be terrible in practice and be a gamer. And when they turn the lights on in the game, you can be an All-American. So it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yes. Well, what about the basketball? How's it looking?
I think the basketball roster looks really good right now.
Yeah.
Retained a lot, went and picked up a couple of pieces that we need and got our eyes on maybe one more.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel as good about the basketball roster next year as I may have ever felt about a roster for Auburn.
As talented a team as Bruce Pearl's ever had, and that says a lot.
Well, thank y'all for the good show, and War Eagle.
Thank you, Randy. War Eagle to you, too, out there. And we want to continue to take your calls and get those in at 256-234-6221. We'll be back right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Registration for the 41st Alabama State Games is now open at allagames.com. Join us as we return to Birmingham for an exciting 3 days of Olympic-styled action, June 7th through 9th. There are 24 sports offered and $40,000 in scholarships up for grabs. The Alabama State Games brings a mix of individual and team sports for all ages and abilities, so everyone can go for the gold. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Registration and event info can be found at allagames.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our program, that means it's time to talk about the weekly specials at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine down in Auburn and in Montgomery. If you're needing dinner tonight, it's chicken and waffles. And so why would you not? Swing on by one of those two locations. I'm going to fast forward to tomorrow because the great feast here at WAXC in Kalijah Country will commence at about 11 o'clock tomorrow when they roll in here with the ribs and the trimmings and the sides and all that. So, one thing I noticed when I told everybody here that Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine was going to be delivered, a lot of times on Friday, man, it's pretty scarce around here. You see a random person walk through. You may see JJ. Ryan's definitely back here. Of course, Kane's back here. But everybody else, man, I didn't have to send a reminder to everybody that Pepper Tree's bringing food tomorrow. They're like, well, all right, what time they going to be there? We'll see. It'll be the biggest crowd here tomorrow out there. We've even had some of you in there sending us messages saying, hey, if we randomly show up out in the parking lot, can you throw us a rib? So probably not. Probably won't be you probably get a rib with a bone. It won't have any meat on it for sure. All right, Justin said a little bit behind here, but don't forget about Dylan Gentry. Yeah, the kid from Central Phoenix City. He came in with Cam Coleman. Well, if he got snaps at Central Phoenix City and he had as much buzz around him, then yeah, sure. I think that guy has been coached up by Coach Nix over at Central Phoenix City and was a great player for a state champion in 7A football. There's a reason for that. They don't just throw you out there just because you are good buddies with Cam Coleman. It's not how it works. No, that don't work like it. And I think he did turn some heads already. He did. John said those Louisiana directional schools seem to always have a QB nobody knows about until about mid-season when he's lighting everybody up. Yeah, either that or New Mexico State. It could be any of those type schools just roll into town and just demolish you for no reason at all. But yeah, you're right. I just think I think the popular sentiment out there is you would like to have a little bit more comfort in your quarterback moving into the year, but I just think it's Peyton Thorne. I think that's who we got, and we just got to hope that he has made strides and he's gotten better and. That a year under his belt and then this offseason has, helped him kind of get to the level that he can be a quarterback. Is not a world beater, but somebody that can go out there and not make mistakes, make the throws that he needs to make, and keep the offense on the field. I'm going to go the technical side, Randy, we talk about some. Auburn's problem is they couldn't stay on the field. It was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3. The efficiency of the offense was horrendous. Coach Horn told me this years ago. He said, every great offensive drive doesn't end up in points. But a good offensive possession can be 3, 4, 5 first downs and punt, and play field position. But when you backed up, like I'll go back to the A&M game this past year. We had a legit shot to beat them because they weren't even good either. Mm-hmm. They couldn't move the ball 2 feet either. And so – the problem was we started off in a hole. So we were punting out of our own shadow of our end zone. And so Texas A&M would get the ball at about midfield, and they'd go 3 and out.
Pretty good offense.
Yeah, just great. And they punt it back inside the 10. Well, eventually the dam's going to break. Even the team's on your side of the 50. We couldn't move the ball off the shadow of the goal line.
Can y'all imagine calling a high school football game with this guy over here when it's 3 and out about 3 or 4 series in a row? I've done it. I've done it quite a bit with him. I think we scored 90-something points one year. And it is brutal, painful. Dude. It's the bog, isn't it, Brett?
That's exactly what it is.
That's Brett's terminology for the bog offense.
A&M and Auburn had the bog offense last year. What'd they beat us, 20-3? Something like that. No, we returned one for a touchdown, didn't we? We scoop up a fumble.
I tried to clear it out of my
mind. It was we had all the opportunity in the world to win the game and just couldn't move the ball. So keeping sustained drives, third down conversions, things like that, if we're better there, it's going to help all the way around. Again, you got to score points, but you've also got to do the little things, and you got to have time of possession. We got some rule changes this year. You got, the communication in the helmet, back and forth on the defensive and the offensive side of the ball, and you got a 2-minute warning. Not that we needed another timeout. And it's like Jason Caldwell said, the 2-minute warning used to be in place, or was it the NFL came up with it to let players know how much time was on the clock. Well, that was back in the Ice Age. You know, everybody knows down to the 10th of the second how much time's left in the game. You don't really need a 2-minute warning. The reason I added the 2-minute warning so you can get another commercial break in. I mean, we all know that. That's just another way to get more money. But it is another timeout. It's a crucial part of what you're doing. You got to keep possession of the football. Cannot give the ball over to the other team 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and expect to win to beat anybody, no matter who your opponent is.
Too many years where we've been that way. So it's disappointing, but I think we are getting closer to not saying that.
That New Mexico State game was
still
one of the hardest ones to watch ever. I mean, look.
Here, we're on list today. What are the top 5 worst games in Auburn history that you can personally remember sitting through and going, this is awful?
Utah State was one. We won it, though, somehow. I was already 3/4 away in my car, and we made a play somehow at the end and won it. But I couldn't stomach it anymore. I'll name the other ones. I've got them. They're up here. They're right there. They're pretty fresh, too. So we come back. We'll talk about that and some other things. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
– 76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Zaxby's has been perfecting chicken fingers for 30 years, and now we're going to the sea. Shrimp butterflied and fried to perfection, and a perfect blend of Zax sauce and cocktail sauce called Zax Tail Sauce. The perfect southern fried shrimp meal. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's. Zaxby's has been perfecting chicken fingers for 30 years, and now we're going to the sea. Shrimp butterflied and fried to perfection, and a perfect blend of Zax sauce and cocktail sauce called Zax Tail Sauce. The perfect southern fried shrimp meal. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Here are a couple segments left in today's show. Brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores with 9 locations throughout Central Alabama for all your home improvement needs. Give them a call today. Go check them out. The store in Auburn is awesome. If you haven't been to that store yet, an outstanding store there in Auburn. J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, they do all your residential and commercial grading and clearing, lot prep. If you're needing work done, they're the guys to call on. And then Central Alabama Community College with 4 locations in Central Alabama. If you're looking to get your 2-year degree and go to work or transfer to 4-year college, they have the path for you. Make sure you choose Central Alabama Community College. Going to go back and go through some of these comments. Steve said worst games to watch were Bama 1985, USC 03. I was at that USC 03 game. It was 141 degrees. And I'm telling you, man, there were more people passing out in that game than I can remember. And we didn't cross the 50, I don't think, maybe 1 or 2 times. So, yeah, it was pretty rough. That one was hot. Not only was it bad, your whole face burned off in there because it was hot. Mississippi State 2021, Vanderbilt 08, New Mexico State 2023. Those are all stinkers, man. I mean, they are. I just kind of pulled up with you the entire 2012 year. Man, my skin crawls when I go back. We let John L. Smith come in there, who was screaming like Jack Kynes was that time when he was coaching Arkansas against Alabama, or Jack Kynes was coaching Alabama in that bowl game. He was in there hollering. They beat us 24-7. We beat New Mexico State, or was it Louisiana? Did I say it was New Mexico State that we beat 31-28 in overtime? May have been Louisiana Monroe.
I think it was Louisiana Monroe.
Okay, beat them in overtime 31-28. LSU rolled in and was number 2 in the country. And
that was early in the year. That's before we gave up.
But they beat us 12-10.
Yeah, I remember. We were there. You and I were there together.
Right.
And yeah, we played pretty well on the defensive side of the ball. You know, the couple of games where I was disgusted, I'll start with the 2008 Alabama game because I knew what was about to come.
Right.
We got beat 36-0. And Tommy T ain't won a recruiting battle against Nick Saban yet. I remember very clearly having conversation with you like, brace, my friend. The nightmare that is to come, and it came, buddy. We had a couple of years where we were able to piecemeal some things together, but for the most part, you got 3 or 4. You and I didn't even watch the 2012 Alabama game was how bad that one was.
No.
They were up 49-0 at half.
I think so.
And called off the Dogs.
They didn't score in the second half.
And then the 2012 Texas A&M game with Johnny Manziel.
Y'all's fault. I told y'all.
They could have beaten us by 80 points.
And then you come back in 13 and have the year you had. You go back over to A&M with that Johnny Manziel team, and that was one of the best football games I can remember.
Agree.
Of Auburn. Man, what a phenomenal back and forth.
Nick Marshall, my friend.
He just ate them alive.
Could we please get another one of him?
I mean,
I'd give up the thought that I was going to get an all-pro NFL player at quarterback if you just give me Nick Marshall.
If you got Nick Marshall every year, man, you'd take him. That guy he was like, just give me the ball back. I'm going to go down and score. Can y'all stop him one time for me? He said, I'm going to go score every
2014,
time.
if we have any defense at all, he does it again that year.
He does it again that year, but we gave up 100 to everybody. It was an arena game in the Iron Bowl, 55-44. We were up 18 points in that game, by the way.
And it never felt like we were going to win it.
Oh, no. Again, we've had these discussions before. You know, we're really good on offense. We can't seem to have a great defense. When we're really great on defense, we can't put things together on offense. Maybe, Coach Freeze, I was very thrilled or relieved to hear in the recruitment of Keandre Lambert-Smith and what Coach Freeze had been telling some people about the culture. He's like, look, there's guys out in the portal we could go get, and he said, I am worried in trying to build the right culture here at Auburn. We want guys that want to be here, that want to do things the right way. It may take a little bit longer, but in the end, when you have that foundation laid, it's like Nick Saban said. Somebody asked him about being too hard on people. He said, I think that's unfair. He said, because what you do is you expect every single person in the organization to buy in and have the same set of expectations. And if
Not
somebody,
get them off the bus.
Right. If somebody doesn't do that, it's hard to build team chemistry and continuity. Hugh Freeze is trying to do that right now. He's not just going and grabbing guys. He's trying to be strategic. Yes, they have to be a good football player, but they have to be somebody that fits in the culture. You know, we've talked about it too.
When's the last time we had a great culture at Auburn?
Well, that's where I was going. I mean, how many times have we brought this up? It's been
way too often.
Exactly. He knows that. Hugh Freeze said that last year. He said, our culture here, we got to change some things. He said, these attitudes have got to go, and he's doing that now. You're seeing the buy-in. We had people at practice, Randy, they told us, said, man, the whole demeanor is different this year already, from the players to the coaches to everybody. And it's not just the players, it's the coaches too. They got to have the right attitude. They've got to have the right buy-in. They've got to have the right, continuity with the players, that they can go out and coach them and love on them when they need to, but be hard on them and understand that they care about one another. It ain't just about roll a bunch of 5-stars out there. Now, yeah, you got to get good players, but there's so much more to it that a lot of fans just go, well, why we're not winning right now? Why didn't we get that guy? There's a method to the madness if you're trying to do it right.
Now the method needs to go towards finding a top-of-the-line, top-tier, NIL to the top quarterback. I truly feel in the next year, if you get the right quarterback in place to go along with these other pieces that Hugh Freeze, that this thing's going to be put together. I believe that.
Brandon,
and
what's the common denominator in the last 15 years to being good at Auburn? Good quarterback play. Jarrett Stidham, Nick Marshall, Cam
and solid pieces everywhere else.
Cam Newton, yes. Yeah. But without those.
No, you can't even. Because
you can't even get there.
Because Cam Newton, I thought his comments on Shannon Sharp's podcast this past week were dead on. I mean, Auburn had a great senior class that year. Mike Goggins being one of them, one that you and I know very well and think a whole lot of. That was a good senior class, but it was a senior class that wasn't going to win but about 7 or 8 games.
If they didn't have a dynamic player.
But if you added him to it, that's what Cam said, you add me to it, and we can go win a national championship. It's exactly what they did. So, yes, get all these other pieces together and you go get a top-of-the-line quarterback, which we haven't had since Nick Marshall.
Exactly right. It's key, man. So integral. A good quarterback can make up for so many other deficiencies.
Especially a dual threat guy.
Exactly. Steve said best culture was Pat Dye. It's hard to argue with that, man. You knew what you was getting with him. You either got on board or got lost. And kind of need more of that in this world, I think. Up against the final break of the show, one final segment right after this.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Catch a ride, not a buzz.
Hey, can you come get me?
Being buzzed still counts. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz here. A couple things I want to get to, some more comments. Justin said, yes, Ty was right. Jaden Rashada did commit to Georgia, I believe, last night. So really, I mean, there's not really anybody out there. I mean, so Auburn's going to – we've known that. That was just, you know, food for thought that we're passing along. John said, do players today really respond or respect team chemistry and love it, or is it all NIL and I don't want to wait, play me now, or I'm transferring? Okay, I think that's a loaded question. I think yes, they do. I think you have to, if you want to be successful, you got to have and care about team chemistry. But I also do think the NIL is what gets you to that. When you get the NIL deal in place, then you worry about building team chemistry and all that junk. If you ain't got the NIL stuff to where you are, then you're checked out and you're worried about me. So I think it's a two-way street.
Well, I think it's like asking if a pro athlete now, because that's what college football is with the money that they're making. It's like asking, does a pro athlete like a good culture, like a good coach, leader that – you know, can lead them to championships, and I would say yes to that, but you're not going to get said pro athlete unless you're paying him the money that he's worth. And you can still make the argument that college athletes shouldn't be getting paid, but it's a massive business with coaches making $10 million a year, and the players are getting paid now, so you got to have a mixture of both. So but you need a leader that can build a culture that you can build on. And I got a lot of confidence that Hugh Freeze is going in the right direction with that. I do.
I do too. I agree with you. All right, I wanted to get to this before we get out because you just said something to me in the break, and it's right. The NFL draft's tonight, and we look down on this paper, and this has been way too much the common look for us over the last decade or more. You want to know how competitive you are with the upper tier and where you want your program to be on a year in and year out basis? Well, it starts with players. And then what's the barometer of that? Well, how many are you putting in the league? How many are moving on to that get drafted in the top 1, 2, 3 rounds And when you look down at Auburn, every year it's the same story. We got 5 or 6 guys that'll get drafted, but we're looking at earliest they get drafted is 3rd round. And then it works down from there. You know, the Georgias and the Alabamas, if you're looking at them as a benchmark, well, they have 2 or 3 in the first 2-3 rounds. So they're looking at
2 or 3 in the
6.
first round every year.
They get 6 total players in rounds 1 through 3, you know, or maybe even more. Auburn will get a Derek Brown to go in the first round, and when he goes high, you know, or a Braden Smith or somebody.
Few and far between.
It is. All right, so let's look at the draft tonight. DJ James, great corner, transferred from Oregon. 3rd or 4th round's what he's being projected by all the prognosticators out there, and there's, you know, probably 12 to 15 of them. They all consensus have him 3rd or 4th round. Nehemiah Pritchett, another one. Very solid player, going to make an NFL team, going to get a contract. Probably won't go off the board at earliest till 3rd round, maybe latest 5th. Jalen Simpson, anywhere between the 4th and 6th round. DeMarcus Harris, defensive lineman, anywhere between the 4th and 6th round. And Justin Rogers, who transferred from Kentucky, who I thought was going to be a great get, played very sparingly at Auburn. He's being projected as a 6th round draft or maybe a free agent. That's Auburn's projected draft.
If memory serves me correct, last year was maybe 2 or 3 in lower positions than that.
Sure.
So, you know, that's an issue, and you and I have been doing programs like this together for almost 20 years, and too often we're going down the NFL draft and guessing where Auburn players are going to go and then looking at our other 3 key rival competitors and seeing how many LSU, Alabama, and Georgia is throwing into the top 3 rounds in comparison to Auburn, and there's just no comparison at all.
You know, you want to look at something that, I mean, I go back all the way to 2004, and you look at Auburn in the first round. They had 4 guys go in the first round. Well, guess what? Auburn went undefeated that year. Success translates, and it's not a coincidence. You know, the reason Alabama's 12-1, 11-2, 13-0 year in and year out, and they have a boatload of guys go to the NFL because they're putting NFL talent on the field at almost every position. Well, that's what Hugh Freeze is trying to do with this recruiting. He's taking it back up to where Auburn needs to be, and you get enough of them, you get enough depth, you build enough roster, you're going to get 7, 8, 9 guys that'll intermingle themselves from rounds 1 to 5.
Well, you got to develop them too, and that's what we haven't done. You know, Gus Malzahn was a pretty good recruiter. Probably an 8 to 12 recruiter on average year in and year out. And if you're an 8 to 12 recruiting class year in and year out and you're not consistently putting 1st and 2nd rounders into the NFL, something's up. And we haven't. We haven't been doing that. And so there's been a question of development for a long time, and Hugh Freeze got to go get them, yes. And I think he's going to do that. I've got all confidence in the world this ain't going to stop. I think it's actually going to get better. I think Hugh Freeze is going to get Auburn to consistently a 7, if not better, recruiting class. The best recruiting I believe that we've ever had will be under Hugh Freeze. Now, can he develop them? He's going to have the opportunity to, because he's got all the facilities, he's got all the money, he's got all of the coaches now that he chose.
What is your realistic expectations out of Cam Coleman this year? Hey, look, he's a different guy. He's a freshman. He's going to be.
If he had an all-SEC quarterback to throw to,
it'd
be massive.
As a freshman. Julio Jones is.
Well, Julio as a freshman was not what Julio was as a sophomore and a junior.
Just saying.
But Julio was good. Yeah, I think that he's got that talent level.
Right.
I really do. I think he does. But does he have a quarterback that good throwing to him? He wasn't last year. I got to buy into that. Peyton Thorne's going to be a lot different this year than he was last year, and that's what we're all trying to buy into. But, yeah, Cam Coleman, the ceiling's through the roof for him. Thank Lord we got him.
That's right.
That you've got a few that's the ceiling through the roof.
And if you have 2 or 3 of these other guys step up that can be legit threats, boy, he just gets even harder to defeat.
We're just a no-brainer quarterback away from having a really good team. Not this year. But in the years to come,
I agree.
if you told me we had a no-brainer quarterback coming back with all of these pieces next year, with the way that home schedule sets up, ooh, man, we'd be something.
You got a chance to do some big stuff. So, all right, day one of the golf championship under in the books. Vanderbilt 11 under, Georgia 10 under, Auburn at 6 under. Auburn right there in the mix. Day two underway now. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with you tomorrow, same time, same place. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.